Hello everyone, welcome to Sunya IAS and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to talk about minerals and rocks. Now, this is a chapter wherein people are not very willing to give a lot of efforts because there is just so much to remember. But there is an easy way to go about it. That is to go by what has been asked in the PYQs. And PYQs mein, there is always a lot of hint given on what kind of questions can come from minerals and rocks. Otherwise, it is an endless topic in itself, right? Geomorphology is an endless domain, and within it also minerals and rocks can be endless. So what we are going to do is, through the questions, we are going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you how to go through NCERT or Shunya book, whatever you have with you to revise, and how to remember things out of it, right? And this is how we are going to cover our entire prelim syllabus. We have already covered polity, covered economy, covered modern history. Now we are into geography, then we'll do environment, art and culture, ancient medieval, science and tech, and current affairs. So all of it will be done through MCQs. MCQs will be PYQ based, similar format and expected questions that are in relevance to PYQs as well and current affairs as well. And of course, static will be covered, right? So we have already done 1200 plus questions and we are going to do more. Total about 3000 plus MCQs we will be covering. So if you want to know more about this course, you can contact on this number, visit on this website, and you will be directed towards how to get this. The advantage of getting the course would be that you will be able to solve these questions beforehand, read the detailed explanations, and come to the video lectures only when you require to get some explanation, right? Otherwise, you can just save your time because right now, time is the most important resource for you, right? Chalo, with this, let's start with the first question. What type of rock is formed by the compressive forces and lithification of sediments? Sedimentary rock, basaltic rock, metamorphic rock, or none of the above? Very easy question. There are three type of categories of rocks that we divide rocks into: igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic. Sedimentary is when there is prior weathering of bigger rocks, weathering of land basically, and land gets weathered into very small pieces, very small fragments, and those fragments with the forces of nature, which is wind, which is water, which is animals also sometimes, but overall by various forces of nature, they get into various layers over each other, and that layering is nothing but lithification. In fact, lithification comes from the word lithify, which means rocks itself. So whenever you see the word lithification, it is talking about sedimentary rock system. Okay. So answer to this is sedimentary. Now what is our cue always? Always see the rest of the options also. When you are studying PYQs also, you have to study the rest of the options. Okay. So basaltic, what is basaltic rock system? Basaltic rock system is an igneous rock system wherein basaltic lava comes out of, basically basaltic magma which comes out as lava. It forms a plane surface, and the entire Deccan traps that we have in India, they are nothing but basaltic rock system. Okay? Basaltic rock is very high on metals. Okay? It is very high on metals, but it is not high on fossils. Always know that whichever fossils we get, for example, the fossil fuels, the coal, the petroleum, these are created out of fossils, right? So these fossils are always found in sedimentary rock system. Okay, they're always found in sedimentary rock system because try to picturize this, that this is a plane surface. These are some sediments that have come and collected over here. Then there are some plants and animals which die. Then more sediments come over here. Then more plants and animals which die. Then more sediments. So basically within these layers, there will be a lot of fossil fuels, and that will happen only in sedimentary rocks. In igneous rocks, that will not happen because igneous rocks are basically forming from within the earth. right? So that is about the basaltic rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic, metamorphic is basically the changes because of temperature and pressure and temperature that happen to both igneous and sedimentary rocks. And even metamorphic rocks, even if they are also under a lot of pressure, then they will be formulated into some other form, right? So for instance, marble is a sedimentary rock. It is not formed by lava. It is not formed by the lithification and sedimentation, right? So metamorphic. So here the answer would be A. This is a very easy question, but still this kind of question can be asked. Arrange the element in the Earth's crust in increasing order. Iron, silicon, oxygen, aluminium. अच्छा, हमेशा जब भी आप देखें तो ये ध्यान से देखें, ऑलवेज पे अटेंशन वेदर इट इज आस्किंग यू अबाउट द इंटायर अर्थ और वेदर इट इज आस्किंग यू अबाउट द अर्थ क्रस्ट. ठीक है, बिकॉज क्रस्ट यू नो is the thinnest layer of the earth, but that is the layer with which we are in contact the most, right? There are two types of crusts. One is continental crust and one is oceanic crust, right? सो ऑलवेज नो कॉन्टिनेंटल क्रस्ट को आपने कैसे याद रखना है? सियाल, सिलिकॉन, एल्यूमिनियम. एंड ओशनिक क्रस्ट को कैसे याद रखना है? सीमा, सिलिकॉन, मैग्नीशियम. फाइन. सो कॉन्टिनेंटल इज सियाल, ओशनिक इज सीमा, एंड ओवरऑल इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द crust of the earth is Nife, nickel, and Fe is iron. ठीक है. So यहाँ पे देख के you might feel that silicon is the most prevalent material that is there in the earth's crust. No, the most prevalent material in the earth's crust is actually oxygen. This is something which is very hard to believe because we tend to think that oxygen will always occur only in gaseous form, right? But oxygen has about 46.6% weightage in the earth's crust. Oxygen as an element. ठीक है, तो सबसे ज्यादा किसका हुआ वहां पे प्रेजेंस? ऑक्सीजन का. सो बिकॉज इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर में लगाना है, ऑक्सीजन शुड बी एट लास्ट, सो सी शुड बी एट लास्ट. तो आप ऑलरेडी आंसर तक पहुंच गए हैं, बट लेट्स गो फॉरवर्ड. मैंने बताया था सियाल एंड सीमा. सो सिलिकॉन इज द सेकेंड मोस्ट abundant material in the earth's crust, not in the earth. ठीक है, silicon takes about 27% of the earth's crust, so that will come the second most abundant. Fine. Then the third one we have is aluminium. ठीक है, aluminium takes up about 8.1% of the earth's crust. And then we have on the fourth number iron. ठीक है, आयरन अप्रोक्सीमेटली 5% ऑफ द अर्थ क्रस्ट लेता है. दैट इज वाई वेरेवर वी फाइंड आयरन, फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी फाइंड आयरन इन द छोटा नागपुर प्लेट्यू. ठीक है, छोटा नागपुर प्लेट्यू में वी फाइंड आयरन एंड दैट्स वाई इट इज सो इम्पोर्टेंट. हिस्टोरिकली इट हैज बीन सो इम्पोर्टेंट, द मगध रीजन, राइट? सो दैट इज देयर. सो हियर द आंसर इज बी. बट in the earth, overall in the earth, which is the most abundant material in the earth overall? It is the iron only. It is iron. ठीक है, because iron is the most abundant metal in the core, and core occupies the maximum amount of volume of the earth. So molten iron form में आपका outer core है, and in the solid iron and nickel form the inner core is there. That we know because of our seismic study, right? Seismic waves का study. So here the answer will be A, D, B and C. B will be the answer. Next पे चलो, ये NCERT में दिया गया है and I would recommend you to remember it by heart because it has been asked multiple times. ठीक है, क्रस्ट के एलिमेंट्स अच्छे से याद करने हैं. सबसे पहले ऑक्सीजन है, देन देयर इज सिलिकॉन, then there is aluminium, then there is iron, basically Fe साइन होता है ना. then उसके आगे का भी देख लो, then there is calcium, ये सारे छोटे छोटे मेटल्स हैं, छोटे छोटे मेटल्स, नॉन मेटल्स हैं, बेसिकली एलिमेंट्स हैं which take up the earth's crust, which make the earth's crust. So calcium is there, then sodium is also there. Sodium chloride पढ़ते हैं ना, Na. Then there's potassium, then there is magnesium, then there is titanium. टाइटेनियम पे सवाल आते हैं कई बार. टाइटेनियम इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट मिनरल. एंड देन देयर इज हाइड्रोजन. सो हाईएस्ट इज ऑक्सीजन एंड द लीस्ट इज हाइड्रोजन. ठीक है, हाइड्रोजन हमारा in our atmosphere hydrogen is there, but it's not the highest found gas in the oxygen also, that is nitrogen. But overall hydrogen, which makes up the sun, actually hydrogen and helium, it is the least found element in the earth's crust. So ये याद रखना, at least first 5 and last जो है वो याद रखना, तो आपको overall जो है मोटा मोटा याद रहेगा. Next, consider the following minerals and how many of the above are ferrous minerals: zinc, aluminium, manganese and tin. What is a ferrous mineral? Ferrous mineral is basically a mineral which has iron in it. Ferrous means iron, you know, Fe, ferrous is iron. So ferrous minerals will have iron in it. तो यहाँ पे अब देखो, iron and other metals are combined together to make very strong alloys, right? You're aware of this. So we make alloy of iron, which is steel. We mix iron with aluminium, है ना? Iron overall is mixed with a lot of things. But in चारों में से the only ferrous mineral that is there is manganese. Manganese has iron in it, but zinc, aluminium and tin, these three are metallic minerals, but they don't have iron in it. Please have a lot of clarity here. I'll give you clarity. There can be two kind of minerals. ठीक है, basic science है ये, हम science and tech भी करेंगे. But just to give you clarity over here, there can be metallic minerals. There can be non-metallic minerals. Fine. Now non-metallic minerals के examples क्या हो सकते हैं? Oxygen. Oxygen is an example of non-metallic. Then calcium. Calcium is also an example of non-metallic. Right? तो ये non-metallic के examples हैं. Metallic में there are two categories. One is ferrous and one is non-ferrous, that I just told you. ठीक है? तो tin, aluminium, ये सारे जो आप generally देखते हैं, which you think have some iron in them, they actually don't. So there are some examples of non-ferrous which I'd like to give you. Copper. Copper is not a ferrous mineral. It does not have iron in it. It is mixed with iron to create more strength. ठीक है? Then bauxite. Bauxite is also a non-ferrous metallic mineral. Then there is lead. Lead पे सवाल आया था that lead overall, where is it found? Right? PYQ में it was asked that where is lead found? And the examples that were given, the options that were given were, there was paint, there was cosmetics. तो इन सब में तो lead मिलता है. But there was one option which said that it was, I think, the pencils that the children use. So when we are small children, we talk about the nip of the pencil as lead, but that is not lead. Real lead is the metal, right? And lead is a very dangerous metal. That is why dangerous mineral overall. That is why we use unleaded petrol now. Unleaded petrol. We don't allow using leaded petrol anymore. It should not be having lead. It's very dangerous. Fine. Then there is zinc, which is a non-ferrous metal. Then of course there is gold. Then of course there is silver. These are all metals which do not have iron in them. So ये clarity होना बहुत जरूरी है. Ferrous में आपका manganese आता है. Manganese has element of iron, and of course iron ore is there. It has element of iron. Clear हो गई बात? चलो next पे चलते हैं. Consider the following rocks. Now again, when you don't have a question, you have to go straight to the question first. How many of the above given are primary rocks? What are primary rocks? Primary rocks are igneous rocks. So they are asking you which of the following are igneous rocks? Granite, basalt, shale, sandstone and pegmatite. So एक एक करके देखो. We have talked about basalt being a volcanic rock only, right? So basalt would definitely be a primary rock, that is an igneous rock. Even granite which is used extensively in construction, it is there in the category of igneous rock. Shale, my dear, it is a sedimentary rock. Okay, it is a sedimentary rock. Then sandstone, when you would be children, many of you might have used sandpaper, right? Sandpaper. So you can relate it with that. Sandstone is again a sedimentary rock. And pegmatite here is a igneous rock only. Okay, pegmatite is an igneous rock. So here the answer would be only 3. I can give you a small hint, but this will not work every time. Just a small hint that I'm giving you. It's not a shortcut to not study it. Wherever the word tite is used, atite, ठीक है, hematite, pegmatite, ये सारी चीजें, तो these are mostly igneous in nature. Mostly I'm saying, ठीक है. कभी भी इसको generalize मत करना. That is my only suggestion to you. But yes, this atite का जो ending होता है, this can be, a hint can be towards igneous rocks. ठीक है, तो only 3 here is the correct answer. इससे हमें क्या पता चलता है इस क्वेश्चन से? We have to read again and again about igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic rock. I'll give you an example. Limestone is a rock जिसमें लोग कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं whether it is sedimentary or metamorphic. So I want you to study this from NCERT and tell me in the comments whether limestone is a sedimentary rock or a metamorphic rock. Okay, chalo. Next. Consider the following process. How many of the above are the major processes in metamorphic rock formation? Sedimentation of rocks, compaction of rocks, heating of rocks and pressure building on rocks. तो हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? Metamorphic की बात कर रहे हैं. So pressure and temperature, these are the two elements under which either an igneous rock or a sedimentary rock can be subjected to this pressure and temperature, and they will transform over a period of time to a metamorphic rock. ठीक है, तो अब इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए heating of rocks is important to create it into a metamorphic one. Pressure building is important. Now you might apply your brain a lot and think, oh, what if sedimentation does not happen and sedimentary rocks are not formed only? Then how will metamorphic rocks be formed? Or compaction kahan pe hoga? Compaction will again be in sedimentary rocks only. But it's not just the sedimentary rocks which are getting transformed into metamorphic. It's also the igneous rocks. So don't make unnecessary linkages which are not valid. ठीक है, यहां पे the answer is the last two. So here only 2 is the correct answer. So that is your previous question and that would be the last question for this class. Now जितना जिस topic का relevance है उसको उतना ही ध्यान देना है. What have we learned from this class? You will maximum get one question either directly or indirectly from this particular topic. What do you have to do about it? You have to read this chapter from class 11th NCERT, of World Physical Geography, not Indian Physical Geography, World Physical Geography, जिसमें आपकी अर्थ के बारे में बात की गई है and overall we are talking about the processes, right? So geomorphology में you have to study about these 3 kind of rocks from NCERT or from Sunya books, that is up to you. If you have Sunya book also, that is also the same thing, right? You can either go for NCERT, you can go for Sunya book. So ये आप करें and then come back to the next class, because in the next class we will be studying geomorphic processes. And geomorphic processes as a topic, you should be having an idea about the rocks in the background so that you can form. Because जैसे हम पढ़ेंगे, you know, movement of the plates and how the sedimentary rocks can be folded more easily as compared to the igneous rocks or the metamorphic rocks, right? So you need to have these things in your background, in the back of your mind, so that you can understand the further classes. Fine. So yes, that is all for today's class. I hope you enjoyed this class. It was a very short class, and that is the weightage of this particular topic in your UPSC examination. So don't give a lot of time where it is not needed. Okay, I'll see you all in the next class. Please make sure that you complete your homework. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.